Thunder crackles and a door bursts open. Peering from the shadows, I see Damien. Um, hey, it's Damien. He looks completely different. No cloak, no Victorian era clothing, no makeup. I was planning to share this side of me until much later, but I'm not as goth as you think. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. My name is Dead by Pony, and today we're hopping back into Dream Daddy Dad Dating Simulator. Without further ado, let's hop in. Am I going to end up playing an entire game of night? We'll see, but I'm kind of loving this. Are you up to anything tonight? You and I were planning to go to the art walk downtown. We were wondering if you would care to accompany us. I would normally write a letter long-handed, but I've run out of distressed parchment paper. Oh, why can I see Damien and Hugo's chat? My hacker? But I don't even have a hacker alias. The feds are going to bust down my door any minute now. I've got to destroy this computer. Ash, this is a group chat. Oh, thank God. Do you guys know how to destroy a computer? You can run Derek's boot and nuke from a startup flash drive. Once you've done that, it's best to physically destroy the platter altogether. The Victorians were well versed in information security. Ash, do you want to go see some art or no? Art is good. Let's go see art. See that art. By quality, not quantity. Sammy and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of these before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for, and I think I'm here a bit early. I don't see Damien or Hugo around anywhere. I feel just a little uncomfortable standing among all these fancy art people. Ash? I turn around and I see Joseph. Joseph, what are you doing here? Joseph scoffs at me. What am I doing here? How could you ask me? I'm obviously a huge art, appreciator, appreciatist. Okay, fine. Damien invited me to this art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too? Yep, admittedly a little out of my depth here. Thank God, I thought I was gonna be the odd one out. Are you allowed to say that? Say what? You know. Thank God. Yep, I actually get double points when I say it since I'm a minister. The point is to get the points get you into heaven. That's how it works. Anyway, where are the guys? I looked and spotted Hugo and Damien, who seemed to have just arrived at the gallery. Good eve, good eve. Evening, friends. Who's ready for some art? Now I am. I have no idea what I'm in for. Art is dead and nothing is real. I have no idea what I'm in for. You know I am. Now I love looking at paintings that are in frames, also paintings that aren't in frames. Art is good and stuff. Well put, Ash. All you have to know is if you ever feeling... All you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that's free, that has free wine and cheese. I like art now. I've got the table in my sights. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go help myself to some teeny weenies. Talk art with Hugo and Damien. Get cheese and tiny weenies with Joseph. I don't mind talking some art. So what's this first place? This particular artist specializes in landscape paintings of various locales with the American Northeast. Look at the art. It's rad art. At the risk of sounding uninformed, do all these landscapes look like butts to you guys? Maybe Hugo leaned in examining the painting in earnest. It would appear as if you are correct. Valid assessment, Ash. Hey, this art stuff is pretty easy. It gets more complicated. Sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts they don't draw. Interesting. Joseph returns to our group with tiny cheese and wine. What I miss? Butts. Shame. The cheese is nice, though. Shall we visit the next place? We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. This gallery is a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of I'm not even sure hangs on the wall. Oh geez. What am I looking at here? This is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. It's a metaphor for the human condition. It reminds me of my childhood. It was in strife. It's a butt. Human condition seems to be an attempt to visually represent the universal experience. It's really powerful, Ash. Care to expound on it? With pleasure. These are simple forms communicate a solemnity that is betrayed by the raw expressionness of the brushwork, which in a way speaks to the essential nature of human experience. The scars left by the passage of time and turmoil, contemporary life, are both contextualized and deepened by the rose color of the echoes of the pre-Oedipal consciousness. Slow down there, Ash. There's a favor and keep it simple. It's a butt. Everyone else stares at the painting. Yeah, that's definitely a butt. I. Hmm. That was a valid sentiment. I can't help feeling your initial judgment may be close to the artist's intentions. Maybe you were understanding how much the artist liked butts. You are a servant of the Lord. We're all God creatures, even butts. Comparing these pieces of art to the body of work, the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents a sense of isolation he feels in creating traditional abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving towards digitalization. Breathing. Wow, how did you figure that?
Oh.
That's what it says on the placard. Oh,
Ah.
let's look at a few more of these. Walk around the gallery sampling some of the more artistic works. I almost hate to say it, but abstract is kind of growing on me. It's interesting that the artist chose not to let their work be defined by, what's the word, realism? Yeah, realism. Oh god. I feel like I need to cough, but at the same time, I also don't need to cough, and it's driving me fucking mad. But I just had water. As we're looking at one of the paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. Psh, I could do that. Excuse me?
Aye.
Hugo, not here. No, come back here. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to him. You say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth or the artistic skill to execute a piece. Even a fraction is impressive of this
I'm
one.
not angry.
Art
I'm
is
just
the
disappointed.
art is the true expression of self, and it seems like your self is bad, so your art would be bad. Hugo insult game isn't the best, but there is no denying his passion. Damien isn't holding back at this point. Friend, he's not worth it. Hugo manages to cool down. He smooths his jacket. I'm sorry, I just love art very much. We know, buddy. I pat Hugo on the shoulder. You know what would ease the mood? Is it cheese? No, it's wine and cheese. Cosine. I forced head over to the wine and cheese table, with which thankfully is grounded in realism, an actual wine and cheese. We've got the last stop on a tour. You lot feeling up for it? Is it going to be anywhere weirder than this art? It's absolutely weirder than this art. Let's do it. Damien, Hugo, Jess, and I walk over performance in the street. Several mass performance in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and us. So, quick question. Shoot. What is happening? I second that question. Performance art. What does it mean? Again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. Langer. Fear of existence, very humanity of being human. You're like screaming butts. Fear of existence. What do you think they're trying to say? I believe it's less about what they're trying to say and more about what they're saying. I think there's something special about the performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, photography, artists uses their medium as a conduit for their emotions. The performance art medium is the artist, is the purest expression of raw human emotion, as its art as catharsis. That's beautiful, Damien. So what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art as long as I really mean it. If it is him with a hard stare, I was going to start making fart noises. But based on the look on your face, the joke isn't going to play well with this crowd. Wise. I watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. Phew, I think I'm all arted out. Agreed. I decided to walk home together. I Anyway, back to the cul-de-sac, tiny wine and cheese sloshing around in my stomach. I think what I learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and cheese, followed by too much wine and cheese. Tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings too close to the sun. Cheese wings, those would melt in the sun too. I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. Plus, it'd be delicious. A nice, Emmenthal, possibly. If you guys were painters, what'd you paint? I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes. Not very good, but it's a nice way to pass the time. I think I'd focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions, like, for example, luchadors. I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses, mostly boats. Really? Yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of long history of religious imagery and artwork. But boats are cool. What about you, Ash? Food, landscape, tasteful nudes of the art. I lack tasteful nudes. Art is money-making business. I know what sells. We finally get to the cul-de-sac. Alright, boys. Good art. Good art. Agreed. See you guys around? Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors after all. I had inside to deal with my inevitable cheese over.
Welcome. You've got dads.
And now, we go on day 3. Day 3 for me. It's a number message. They get pretty serious. Might not have time to browse dad book for a while. You ready? Then we continue. Drink plenty of water. That goes for all of you watching. Take a sip of some water. Soda doesn't count. Gatorade doesn't count. Plain water. Ever since we had that picnic in the graveyard, Amy and I have been spending a lot of time together. We go on nighttime strolls pretty regularly. He was so impressed with the first letter I wrote him. They insisted we only communicate by post instead of through dad book. Initially protested, but he gave me one of his old Singet rings to use as a seal for my letter. I couldn't say no. Hanging out with that goth dad again? Please, Amanda, you know his name. And yes, be honest with me here, Pops. Is he actually a vampire? I remember you inviting him into our household that one time, and I've seen Lost Boys. I honestly would have preferred trying to see if he could have walked through the threshold of our home under his own power. Yes, Amanda. I have become Damien's familiar and compelled under his... I'm sorry, sweetie.
Ugh.
Turned into a bat. I don't think
Ugh.
that's the point of... What's the point of being a vampire if you can't turn into a bat? Well, okay, I'm off. Are you taking the car, or are you flying off into the night on the leathery wings of a bat? One of those. While I'm out, can you throw away the garlic bread that's in the freezer so I don't die? That'd be great. I'm keeping there as insurance. You understand, right? That's my girl. Damien and I walked along the water's edge chatting. Damien's cloak. He hates it when people call it a cape. Damien's cloak flutters behind him in the breeze. This is going to seem a silly question, but why do goths wear black? Goths' subculture has always been associated with death, so it would make sense that the style surrounding it would be greatly influenced by mourning. Interestingly enough, though, was that in the Victorian era, Queen Victoria herself mourned the death of her late husband for 10 whole years, wearing black for the rest of her life. If that's not goth, I don't know what is. I have another question. Go ahead. How are you so comfortable with death? You mentioned in the graveyard that it helps you appreciate your life or something. I've experienced several losses in the course of my life. I truly believe that the only manageable way to cope with it is to accept that death is simply a part of living. It's the single universal truth for every human who has ever lived. I'm going to die. You're going to die. And life carries on without us. Doesn't that make you feel scared? Not at all. Without these advanced modern science, death was everywhere in the Victorian area. And yet, were major social functions. Victorians were obsessed with mementos of their loved ones, even going so far as to take elaborate staged photographs of their dead relatives. The many that of mourning was so complex that there were set periods of grieving that were deemed acceptable based on who in your life had passed. Now, we don't have any of that. If you lose someone, you end up feeling lost yourself because you have no modern equivalent to those formalities. We need to allow ourselves time to grieve, to feel that loss, but not allow it to consume us. So, no, I'm not afraid of death. I believe it's a waste to spend your life dreading the end of it. The time we have here is brief and fleeting, and occasionally cruel, but it's all time precious. But at all times precious to stare death in the face and live despite that. I think is a noble existence. Let's save the mourning for the dead. Wow, that's beautiful. I can see the moonlight in the bay glint off Damien's eyes. He smiles. I turn to the harbor and watch ships pass, breathing in the salty sea air. I look at Damien again and can't help but be entranced by his charm, his mystery. I find everything about him so fascinating. I lean closer to Damien, closing my eyes as I do so. I'm so sorry, I have to take this. Damien steps away from me to answer his phone. Oh no, I hope this isn't Lucine again. I was speaking in hushed tones for a few moments. Damien returns to me. Everything okay? There's an emergency. Lucine? No, thankfully. But I must take my leave. Oh, okay. Is there anything I can do to help? Dads do have to stick together, right? You know it. Then come. There isn't time to waste. After a short drive in silence, we arrive at a rundown building on the outskirts of town. Where are we? Better if I just show you. I push the surprisingly heavy door open to find myself in a dimly lit waiting room. A few rickety chairs line the wall. There doesn't seem to be anyone behind the front desk. There are a few painted pictures on the wall, but they're so nondescript I'm still unsure what kind of place this even is. Wait here for a moment. I'll be right back. Some kind of vet. Neo walks off down a corridor, his boot heels echoing the halls of the seemingly empty building. It isn't a house outgoes from a place I can't see. There's a faint scratching sound, like claws on tile. I cautiously peek down the hall and find soft stall of scared-looking dogs. Few of them notice me and skitter up to the chain-link fence, sticking their noses through and sniffing at the air. What have I gotten myself into? Suddenly the light shut off. I panic, unsure of where I am, how I can get out. Stumble through the darkness. My breathing gets heavier and heavier. Damien? It's finally turned back on. Hey, sailor. Mario, what are you doing here? You aren't here for the fight club? I don't want to get punched in the face. Great, because this is an animal shelter. A what? We take care of stray animals, and then people adopt the stray animals. Didn't you see the pets when you walked in? Oh, sorry, I didn't really expect to see you volunteering in an animal shelter. Wow. Okay, kid. Way to put me in a box. Dames, you hear this baloney? Just one moment. Thunder crackles and a door bursts open. Peering from the shadows, I see Damien. Hey. It's Damien. He looks completely different. No cloak, no Victorian-era clothing, no makeup. I was planning to share this side of me until much later, but I'm not as goth as you think. I'm a systems administrator for the IT department of a realty company. I wear tennis shoes to work, and I listen to Bruce Springsteen. Enjoy going to the hardware store and looking at storage solutions. And I volunteer at this animal shelter in my spare time. I'm boring. Fascinated with Victorian history and the goth lifestyle. That much is true. It's just not all that I am. I need you to know that. Oh, I hate to kill the moment here, but there's some pressing business that needs attending to. Oh, right. It's Duchess Cordial. Again, it's Duchess Cordial.
Oh my.
There's one of the pups. Gets out all the time. Somehow learned to open the door, and now she's unstoppable. When did she get out? This morning. I went to go sing sea shanties to the cats. When I came back, and she had already bolted. I have to stay here with the pet, so I need you two to go find her. Of course. Where could she be?
The rest, buddy.
She always ends up running off the same place. Here, let me draw you a map. Mary started scribbling on the back of a pet adoption form.
Uh-huh.
He's very smart, ruthless even. You need to stay on your toes and get her back by sundown, or else she turns into a werewolf and starts eating people. What? You're a perfect peach, Ash.
Hey.
We just don't want her to be stuck outside when it's cold. Well, I'll grab some treats and we can hit the road. Damien and I look over the map Mary created for us. Oh man, I'm Nerd House. Softball field, coffee spoon, shelter, aquarium, Kale, Coffee Dad, Nerd House, Mary's sick pad, Smalls, Dames, Other Nerd's house. Alright, I'm Nerd's house. At least you're not Other Nerd's house. Looks like you're moving up in the pecking order. Congrats, kiddo. Where should we head first? I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, remember to hit like, that way I know you're enjoying the content I'm making. Remember to hit subscribe, that way YouTube brings you back here to see what happens next. And don't forget to check out my social media, linked on my channel. I won't take up any more of your time. Hope you have a good day. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.